your number one hype gal here, and welcome to the weekly warm-up, your weekly dose to feel a little more confident and a lot more human. I'm Jess McDowell, and each week I'll share life updates, mindset shifts, product faves, the little things that help me stay grounded, energized, and moving and grooving. Whether you're heading out for a jog, sipping your morning coffee, or just need a midweek pick-me-up, this is your warm-up for living a real balanced life. So take a breath, shake it out, and let's dive in. Welcome back to the Weekly Warm-Up Podcast. I took a couple weeks off to just regroup and try to figure out what I wanted to do next with the pod. And I made a decision that I wanted to have a woman's series where I bring on a specific amount of ladies, my gals, my girls, to discuss endurance athletes, to discuss running, to discuss hybrid athletes, and all things in between. And to kick off this series, I am super pumped to have a local Miami gal that truly is all over the place, moving and grooving. She's hustling and such a badass, Liane Lopez. And we're going to get started. We're going to dive in and introduce her. And I am just so thankful to have you on the pod to start this series. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Jess. I'm honestly so excited and I love everything that you do. I love your vibe. So when you asked me to be on the pod, I was like, absolutely.
You're the best. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. Tell us a little bit about yourself, a little background, where you're from. Who are you?
Yeah, so my name is Liane. I grew up from Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl, but I moved to Miami about 7 years ago. I came here for school. I went to UM. I was a walk-on rower, so I was super lucky. I got to pick up a sport in college, and it took me through 5 years. During that time, I got my bachelor's in exercise physiology, master's in accounting. And within about a year after college, I quickly realized that all I wanted to do was fitness. I knew that, but it really took some life experience to realize that on the day-to-day, I love fitness, and that's what I wanted to do. Not only as an athlete, but as a coach. So I changed my career, and for about a year now, I've been a personal trainer, a group fitness instructor, and I'm also an athlete myself, competing in running, high rocks, and different types of endurance competitions.
Yes. And we are going to be talking about all of the above. I did not know that your major was exercise physiology, which is awesome. And here I go. This is our first squirrel before our first question. But how do you use that? Such amazing, not a lot of people have that type of degree when they're getting into the fitness space or when they're, training or doing whatever it is that they are doing. Do you utilize your degree a lot?
Of course. And I think, I studied it for 4 years and had time to process, to digest information, like upper level classes. I remember I literally was doing anatomy on a human cadaver. So I've had a lot of different experiences that school has brought me to, and I get to bring that to all of my clients into my own training as well. So I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, you could really go far. You could work for like actual teams and such because of the fact that you have that such amazing background. So good for you. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So since we are talking about your UM days and, we were chatting about how you went to University of Miami and you had intense discipline of being, a college athlete and a rower. How did that shape your mindset? How did that make you have a natural transition to becoming a fitness coach? I know that a lot of athletes go through so much in their process of not only before going to college, but like you said, you're a walk-on, but their process at the very beginning of starting as rowing. So kind of break that down of how that shaped your mindset and then how that kind of naturally helped you transition into where you are today.
Of course. So when I went to college, I wasn't planning on being an athlete. I just went to school because it was one of the best exercise phys schools in the country, and that's why I was there. But shortly after I started college, I got invited to try out, and my thought process was, well, I love working out. I wasn't in endurance. I just liked lifting. I had injuries in high school, so I started lifting a lot. I love lifting, and I love the water because I come from a fishing family in New Jersey. And I was like, why don't I just swim?
Loves the water. Her post, like if she's not submerged in water at least once a day, then I don't think she's doing well.
I'm part mermaid. What can I say? So I was like, oh, this is perfect. Two and two together, it has to work. And it did work because I was there for all 5 years. But it taught me so much discipline. Fortunately, my parents were like, had me in a regimen and made me work hard. And I knew what hard work was. And now I got to apply it into my own life, into something that I truly cared about. And it's every day, rowing 6 days a week. You get one day off. You got doubles all the time. I woke up at 4:45 or 5 a.m. every day because I had to catch a 5:30 bus, like 6 days a week. And I was new. So when you're a beginner, you suck. Like you don't know anything. And I was with girls on full rides from New Zealand, Australia, Spain, Germany. And these were my teammates and they were my year. And if I'm going to do something, I'm the kind of person that's going to go all in. I'm not going to do anything half. If I'm going to do it 50%, just don't do it at all. Just wrap it up and move on to something you want to do. Yeah. So that was my approach to it. And I went all in. The first 2 years, everyone thought I was insane. And people still probably do. But I doubled down on the training and I did lots of extra workouts. I did extra lifts. I did extra ergs. One summer I learned how to scull, which is a different style of rowing, but it's really efficient, learning the balance of a boat and how how the boat responds to your body. And all of that, working my way up to the team, I worked my way, and honestly, I'm so blessed that I got a full ride my last 2 years through that. And that taught me so much discipline and really like the amount of work you put in is what you get out. And then when I left a regular job, I worked for the government right out of college. And then I was like, I'm going to be a trainer. And my parents looked at me, are you sure? Are you sure you really want to leave this really stable job? And I was like, I got to try. I think that if you care about something, you should go at it. And if you fail, you failed. Really, if you just have to work until it works. You got to work until your dream is reality. Like that is what I believe. And so I have a crazy schedule. Most trainers do. You work in the morning, you work at night, you got to do stuff during the day. So I'm really so grateful.
It's a grind and it's a hustle.
It's a hustle, but if you love it, I love it, you love it, there's no better job.
Yeah. I don't think it's talked about enough how much it really is a grind and a hustle, and that you're utilizing your body every single day, but then also you're not only teaching classes, so you're using that aspect of like your mental space, but then your physical aspect of, performing in a class, whether you're not doing the whole entire workout, but you are demoing and you're helping other, students out.
Yeah.
But then also on top of that, you're training on your own because you want to have a life,
Yeah.
and then you're sometimes someone's therapist, because people always love to get close to the people that they work out with, which isn't a problem, but yeah, there's not enough credit in the industry for coaches like that. So I commend you so much, and I think it's so amazing that you're like one of those awesome sports movies that I like to watch, that I cry on, where the walk on becomes full scholarship and a badass. I love it. One thing I want to ask before we kind of move on it, but so girls for rowing, a lot of them, it seemed like they were from other countries. They weren't even being really recruited in the US. Is that normal for this type of sport?
There are a lot of international rowers. The quality of international rowers is super high. They're amazing. Their work ethic is incredible. A lot of my friends overseas that I rowed with, they started rowing when they were 10 years old. So some people in America do, but a lot of the time people start in high school, halfway through high school. So a lot of times the European girls just have so much experience and they're pushed. So they're amazing athletes. I rowed with plenty of Americans, but they're incredible.
That's amazing. I love that so much. Your niche, which obviously is running and being a hybrid athlete, you are definitely the quintessential hybrid athlete. I will admit that. I think a lot of people get confused between cross training and hybrid athlete because, there's just a lot of different terminologies, but also to understanding what cross training is versus being, again, a hybrid athlete, which is doing something like high rocks. And I feel like if you say high rocks, people will understand these days, because it has now become, I think, almost getting as big, or if not bigger, than running races and such. What got you into high rocks. You're actually one of the first people on the pod that I've been able to talk to about this. So I'm really, really excited to kind of dive deeper. I'm not a
Yeah.
high rocks girl, you know. I'm strictly endurance.
Yeah. No, no, I got you. So basically, I, after college, actually did triathlon for a year. It was great.
I
It
love
just takes a
that.
lot of time for long distance. I was doing half to full Ironman distances, kind of. So it's a lot of time, a lot of strain. Then I got into marathon running, and I ran my first marathon last fall, and then I've done 2 High Roxes this spring in the past couple of months.
Yeah.
And
She was at
I
New York.
loved. I was at New York City. It was awesome, amazing venue, amazing race. Um, so I love lifting. I've always lifted. Every sport, you need to lift. Injury prevention, minimal. Just strengthening all the muscles around your joints and
Yeah. Say it
supporting.
louder for the people in the back.
You gotta build the muscle around your knees, your quads. Like, you can't just run every day and do no strength training. Like, you will get hurt, and that will be the end of you. So do strength training if you don't like it. Twice a week. Like, that's it. But I love lifting, love it. I always lifted, and when I saw High Rocks coming to Miami, I was injured at the time. I had broke my collarbone around Thanksgiving, so I was recovering for that. But I was like, it's lifting and running, and I run a lot, and I love lifting. I want to try. And no, you can't just do your basic lifts and then run and think it's going to be okay. You have to integrate them. So High Rocks is basically just running on heavy legs, running on legs that are already fatigued from doing a muscular endurance exercise is basically what it is. And you have to have a good strength base. More importantly, you have to have a great aerobic base because High Rocks is 65% running plus stations. And I was injured at the time, but I
Which I
told my
found, sorry to interrupt, which I find is very interesting because I feel like I would excel at that. And I do know that if you have a partner, then your partner can do most of your workouts for you. Like can't they just do it all if you wanted to and I wanted to run, but like your partner also has to run?
correct. Both people have
Okay.
to run, but however you divide the station is up to you.
Wild.
Yeah, wild. But I did Miami High Rocks, and then that was in April, and then I did New York City High Rocks in May. And in both times, I did mixed doubles. So that means I had a guy partner, and then we do men's weight for like wall balls, for sled push, for sled pull, sandbag lunges, farmers carries are a little bit heavier than the women's weight. Um, but I love it. I'm signed up for 2 more. I'm doing my first women's solo in DC in the beginning of September. And then I'm going to do a women's double in Tampa in October.
What is the difference between a co-ed double, a solo, and a women double?
For sure. Okay, so solo double, 1 person, 2 person. Mixed doubles versus women's doubles. The women's doubles weight is women's weight, which is lighter. The mixed doubles weight is always men's weight. So it's a little bit heavier. So, like, example, a mixed doubles sled is around like 335 pounds. A women's double sled would be like 260 pounds. So it's lighter.
How many times do you have to do that back and forth?
Like uh 50 meters, I believe.
How many
It's like
times?
every course is different in length.
Got it.
So most of the time they're like 12 meters or 12 and a half meters. So you go back and forth 2 times.
Dang. Okay. Cool. So then, and then when you're doing solo, what's that like?
I haven't done a solo yet. I'm going to do it in September. The difference is
Yeah.
now I have to do everything. So I get like, you have no off because when you have a partner, you both have to run, but then you share the station. So say like burpees, I do 5 burpees, my partner does 5 burpees or whatever. We switch. Now you you have to do everything by yourself. So like you have to ski erg 1K. You have to do all of the sled push, the pull, 1K rowing, like 80 meters of sandbag lunges, 100 meters, 200 meters of farmer's carries, 100 wall balls. You're working the whole time. So your aerobic base is what you have to have, like to make you work in basically a threshold intensity, like heart rate 160 and above, most likely for an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. That's crazy. Is there something you're most excited about? And what is the one of the movements, excuse me, one of the exercises that maybe would be a little bit more challenging for you versus the ones that you feel confident in?
I hate farmer's carry. I don't know
Yeah.
who created this exercise, but I don't know why I have to run with 50 pounds in my hand. I
Yeah.
hate them. I will always complain about them. Hate them. Um, but then my like ones that I'm good at is lunges and burpees. I have like shorter, stronger legs. Yeah, they kind of suck, but that's kind of a make or break station. It's a little bit more than halfway through the race, and people's fitness shows. It'll make or break you a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I learned a good technique. And when I was in New York, I don't know what happened. I had something come over me, and I was just like ripping burpees a total lane, like wild. I was like an
I love
animal.
that. It's so great to see when like you have that athletic, you're an athlete and you obviously have your, athletic side and the athleticism, but when
Mhm.
you are on and performing, how your body and that adrenaline and just the true skill comes out to where you can't really explain it, how you just became this like beast mode. You know what I mean? Or that like you said, you figured something out and it just, yeah, how you're just clearing, the lane of, flying in a burpee. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with
Yeah.
that. So the balancing, yeah. So now it's kind of the idea of how you're balancing your life. So we're talking about like the balancing act. And as a fitness coach, obviously that is a lot of energy. Like I mentioned, a little bit ago, you're pouring your time into clients, your different, coaching classes, the different locations that you're doing, the one-off events you're doing. I mean, again, also living your life. What is one way that you balance that and keeping the energy and pushing your own athletic limits?
Um, Definitely, it's hard to balance it all, especially when like you love it, but it's also your work. So you have to
Yeah.
find, I think, like, okay, I'm gonna go to work now, and now I'm still gonna do something athletic, but I'm gonna go hang out with my friends and go running with my friends.
Mhm.
So I tried to target that. Also, I have a passion for the ocean. And for like a while, I didn't do that, like, didn't do anything with the water because I was just trying to focus on fitness and building my business as a trainer while I was running out of balance. So incorporating another hobby back in was really helpful. And recently, like once or twice a week, I try to run with some of my friends. Like tomorrow, I'm going to go run with one of my friends. We're going to go like 6 to 8 miles easy and then go to Pilates. And then the rest of the day, I will work. But during that time, I'm just going to turn off my phone or put it on do not disturb, have it in my pocket. I'll take it out when to take a picture and then just be with my friend in the moment.
Document it.
Yeah. And then the rest of the day, I will lock in and go to work. But you definitely need to segregate because as a trainer, most trainers, we're entrepreneurs, work for ourselves. So when you run your own business, there's no off. And I've had to learn this because I like to go, go, go all the time.
Mhm.
But I'm like, okay, Leanne, now stop. We don't need to edit another video. We don't need to prepare another post. I need to mentally decompress. And I'm learning that. And you definitely have to give yourself off time as much as you want to like grow. You have to give yourself some off time to decompress.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And I mean, like you said, and you nailed it when saying yourself that it's hard to shut off because when you're in a world of being on, a digital side of things, promoting yourself and then also promoting yourself in person and networking and obviously in Miami, but then wanting to do events to build credibility and to build awareness of yourself. It really is something where you can't take the time that you want or that you need, like a 9 to 5 job where you have Friday and Saturday off or whatever. It really
Yeah.
is one of those things where you have to really put time aside for yourself. And it can be random days, which I love, having those random
Mhm.
days, and it doesn't have to be back to back. But you're right. Yeah, there is a very big stigma around not being able to shut off because of the fact that when you're working, that's part of, the fitness aspect. But then also when you're not working, you're still doing some type of activity in fitness.
Yes.
So
Uh huh.
it's never stopping. And then you want to record it because that's good content.
Mhm.
Setbacks. 7 months ago, right? Yes, 7 months
Mhm.
ago, you faced a massive hurdle with severe injury that required surgery. And I want you to obviously allow yourself to discuss that because this is your personal, experience. But
Mhm.
for someone whose entire identity and career are so tied to physical movement. What was going through your head the moment you realized you had to hit the brakes? But feel free to discuss what happened first if you like.
Of course, yeah. So right at like the week before Thanksgiving, I got into a cycling accident and I broke my collarbone. I had to have surgery, and like 2 weeks later I have like two plates and I think like 12 screws in my collarbone because I went like choop like that. So kind of traumatic. I remember like being on the ground and I went to get up and they were like, no, no. And I was like, oh, like I cannot lift my shoulder off of the ground. And I've never broken a bone in my body. So this is my first time having surgery, having a broken bone, going underneath anesthesia, going like x-rays when things are broken. But it's part of being an athlete, and I was super blessed to be completely safe until this point, but it happens. It was really hard it was really hard the whole time, but especially the first couple of weeks. I was in a sling. I couldn't move my arm. I work out every day. I was 2 weeks off of a marathon block. So I went from running 60 miles a week to you can't run for 6 weeks or more, depending on how your body heals. So I was like this all the time. And it killed me because, like, yeah, like as an athlete and trainer, like our identity is usually in athletics. Um, but honestly, it gave me a lot of time to reflect and do some like soul searching and realize like what other parts of me there were besides just an athlete. Because as much as I love being an athlete and I'm competitive and I'm performance oriented, there's a human inside with emotions, with a heart, with other things going on, other interests too. And it forced me to explore that. But I was supposed to do a lot of things and I had to cancel them. And that sucked. But a lot of growth happened. I know like whenever we have hardships and setbacks and we're lonely and sad, but that's the time that we grow the most. We have no other option but to do some digging. And I really believe everything happens for a reason. So whatever that reason was, it happened and I had to grow from it.
Yeah, and you're very much faith-based, which is awesome. So being able to really just kind of go to the Bible and go to God and really pray and just remind yourself that, you're God doesn't give people difficult situations that he knows you can't, that you can't handle, and that
Mm-hmm.
this wasn't meant to be something to teach you a lesson, obviously, but it was maybe something to where look how you've come out so strong on the other end, and you're just doing such amazing things in the community and for the community, and you're still able to do all the things you love and more. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. I have like one distinct memory. I had surgery on a Thursday, and Friday I went to the gym and just sat on a stationary bike. And Saturday morning, I went to the gym that I was working at the time, and I led a fitness class. And they were like, "You're gonna be here?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be there." I led I led our class on Saturday in the sling and was yelling at everyone and
Dead.
cheering for them. And
Were you
it was
cleared
make
to
me
do that?
happy. What?
Were you cleared to do that?
Yeah, they're like, I obviously
Yeah.
I can't pick anything up. Like I couldn't set anything up
Yeah.
besides like putting some cones with my other hand. But
Wild.
I was there, and
That's
you know what? It really, what I learned. It took instead of me always being the athlete and me cheering for me. Honestly, probably for like once in my life, I was forced to be the spectator, and I was
yeah.
forced to be the cheerleader, and I was humbled and got to go then and support everybody else because everyone's always supporting me. And it made me be like, hey, you need to be a cheerleader for everybody and give back. And
Yeah.
that was a really big mindset change.
That's awesome. And I mean, not a lot of people would have that kind of revelation, but that's such a good tip or advice to have for anyone that is going through something similar to what you went through or is in the process of healing, that, it's a give and take, and showing up for others is really, really important, because it also, like my mom's always told me this, like you earn your angel wings. Every day I always had to earn my angel wings. And so it's just something where it's so fulfilling, and you end up leaving feeling like you're on cloud nine, that you really have made an impact on people. And those people remember that, that's why people
Mhm.
keep coming back to you, is that, sometimes it's not always about the fitness or the workout or how hard you push people. Sometimes it's about how you show up for people and how you make them feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Protecting, oh, well, speaking of protecting peace, look at this. Wow, I'm really good. So there's a huge mental health component to being obviously sidelined as an athlete during your immediate downtime, which you kind of discussed this already. So this is a little bit repetitive, but downtime post surgery, what was the hardest mental hurdle to overcome? And how did you protect your mental health when your body couldn't do it?
Even though like I'm not an elite athlete, I like to be the best at whatever I do. And it was honestly, it was really hard to see my peers continue training and continue to get faster and me be at a halt, that I was getting behind. And I was super happy that they were getting better, but I was like, I should be there. I was supposed to be there. And now I'm stuck here. And now I'm going to have to make my way back because I was supposed to run a marathon this spring and I had goals and things I wanted to do. And again, I was forced to become the cheerleader and I was forced to be the spectator. And it honestly, it made me so grateful for all those people who support me. And I got to show up for people and go to races and go to the turkey trot and go to other 5Ks, 10Ks. I got to go to a half marathon and cheer people. And even when I was back, I ran Miami half about a week and a half after I was cleared to run because I was very negotiative with my doctor. And I got to pace my friends. I got to pace my friends in the Miami half. Have I ever paced anyone ever? No, because I'm always racing. And it made me be more outward looking. And I'm super grateful for that switch.
No, totally. And I mean, it is okay to feel a level of it's not resentment or anger, but it's okay to feel a level of, I guess, jealousy or, yeah, jealousy when you're seeing all your friends continuing to be able to do what they're doing. And then you question to yourself, like, why me? Why did this happen to me? I was on such a roll and I had these plans. I mean, that happens to all of us in different situations in life, not just an injury. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's very easy to compare yourself and it's very easy to get on social media or be around people and sometimes just be like, even though you are being the cheerleader, sometimes in the back of your mind, you're like, you know what? Like, I just really hate this. This sucks. Like, yes, I love you as a friend. You're doing so good, but I want to be there. I want to be doing it. And yeah, it takes a lot of mental stability and mental strength to be like, I'm going to try to be the biggest person or the better person in this sport. But then sometimes maybe when you go home, have a crash out.
Yeah, for sure.
So the turning point, right? Your comeback. Woo! We're just telling a story.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's been incredible to watch. I haven't known you for very long. I got to know you actually at a fitness event that I hosted a run at, Stay Fit 305, which was really cool because you ran that. And I didn't know you were a runner at the time. And I think you were helping me with pacing. And I was like, yeah, you can or whatever. And I think the way I was saying it was just almost like I didn't know if you were a runner or not. And she's like, I'm a runner. I'm like, got it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. But so it's been incredible to watch, but then also too just to see how you share your story on Instagram and then how you're continuing to share your story through being a hybrid athlete and doing high rocks, but then also, starting to host these really cool water events and water fitness events on the side and then doing your day to day. What was there a specific day or specific milestone in your rehab where you finally clicked and you thought, okay, I'm back. This is happening. Hell yeah, I'm ready to roll.
I told myself that if I could throw a medicine ball over my head by the first week of March, I would do Miami High Rocks in April. Give me 1 month to get it together. Not to be fast for time, just to be grateful that I could perform.
Yeah.
And I was able to throw a medicine ball over my head the first week of February. So
Yeah,
I was
love
like,
that.
I was like,
Badass.
okay, I can do this. Now
Yeah.
I prepped for High Rocks with one workout a week leading up to Miami, and I just wanted to build my running fitness again. And I went into that and I was like, I don't know how it's gonna go. My partner and I had never done high rocks before, but like, why not? Like, let's just go for it. And we finished with like 102.40 or something, which is like a good time. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Like, I'm healthy. Like, we ran fast. We should have pushed harder. And then I just started like building more volume. And then I went into more of like a strength block. And about 7 months now post injury. And I'm lifting. I'm like almost back to doing unassisted pull ups. I did a threshold workout. Like, I'm running faster than I ever have in my entire life, and I'm healthy. And I'm like, there was a reason for this, like, because now I'm grateful for all the workouts that like the Lord lets me do. Like, I am grateful. I appreciate, like, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And that's what I try to say now. Like, when I get tired, when I get stressed, I have so many opportunities. I thank you for blessing me. Like, I'm so blessed to have this life, even if it gets crazy.
No, that's definitely like the silver lining through it all. Are you restricted? So now, how, as far as your body goes, I'm not familiar with how collarbone breaks and healing
Mhm.
happens, but
Mhm.
will you ever be restricted from anything, or do you feel a difference in your body prior to obviously the injury?
So I'm good now, but for first couple of months leading up to it, I felt like some tension going down into the front of my bicep, like here. And I did not like that feeling. But
Yeah.
fortunately, it went away and I haven't felt it about 2 months. Now I should be like, basically, it takes the bone, they said, 12 to 16 weeks to fully heal, but like most of the healing is done in the first 8 weeks. And that's why I was cleared to run like a month and a half after my surgery. And my body healed in overtime. And I'm so grateful for that. Um, yeah, I was so
That's the
grateful
true
that it was
athlete part of you.
healing.
You know what I mean? That like your body recognizes the movement and the exercise and the endurance, and it's like that muscle memory. You know what I mean?
Totally. And I was crazy. And I was working out when I was in a cast or like couldn't move my arm. And I would lift with my left side and do my workouts. And I would cross train on the Stairmaster, on the bike, on the elliptical. And I was like, I don't really care. People think I'm crazy. I might have one side bigger than the other, but I'm like, I'm going to do everything possible to help myself, help my body. So when I am allowed to go with this side, I'm ready, but more so like mentally. Like, I couldn't give up on myself and just do nothing. So I was going to do whatever I could do. I remember one day I was at the gym and I was just doing bands, which is like, for me, my warm up. But for me, just going and showing up and being at the gym and having my peace was showing up for myself. And I think if you're injured, just do whatever you can do, and you celebrate that you can do that because you were just taking everything.
Yeah. And your body responds to that too. Like you said, not only physically, but mentally too. You
Mm-hmm.
could wallow and pity yourself in bed and say that this sucks. But if it's not something where it's hindering your recovery or hindering your healing, then why wouldn't you want to go out there and, move? And why wouldn't you want to show your body that, hey, I'm here with you. We're going to do this together. We're going to heal. And by continuing to move and by continuing to stay positive, I don't think people realize like that's how the body actually really fully heals. Like we are a living being, and
Yeah.
we work off that. You know what I mean? Versus
Mm-hmm.
sitting and letting whatever heal on its own.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna kind of like, move on to some fun stuff. I know I wanted to talk to you about some water sports and everything too, because you're really cool and badass with the water sports. But if you woke up tomorrow and were completely banned from water sports, running, high rocks, being a hybrid athlete, all of, your main things, what completely different sport do you think you would blindly try to conquer?
So a sport that I've never tried before at all, or just never did a lot of.
Never did a lot of. Like if you woke up and you just couldn't, you were banned from doing, rowing, your normals, your high rocks, your
Okay.
running, your water sports, what would you go to?
I couldn't do anything with water at all. And I couldn't do the sports that I do. I think I would want to get into skiing.
Ooh, I love snowboarding. That's really good at that.
Like I've skied a couple times growing up, and I love it. It's cold. I don't like the cold, but
You get used to it.
I really loved it when I was going skiing, and I think I would just like become a skier.
You would be really good at it, honestly, just because you have that really like that balance and that, skill from the water sports. I feel like, and they say that, so it's skiing is, what is it? Skiing is easier to pick up on and harder to be good at, right? And snowboarding is easier to, what
Pick
do
up
they
on.
say? Yeah, they say like snowboarding is easy, like, or harder to pick up on, but easier to learn, like to maintain, I think. And
Hmm.
skiing is easier to pick up on, but it's harder to like be really good at. I don't know. I could be wrong at the both that
Yeah,
way, but
yeah,
I mean, skiing is definitely it's a fun sport. That'd be really
it
fun.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, you would definitely crush it for sure. Speaking of water sports, so how did you get? I mean, obviously living in Miami, yes, but have you always been into water sports? Was this something that you did for more of like your hobby since obviously you were doing rowing and stuff, but a little bit of an escape, I guess you could say?
I grew up in a fishing family, so in New Jersey, I was always on the boat. I'm super comfortable with the ocean. Probably about a little less than 10 years ago, my dad and I got scuba certified. So I got under the water world, added that into the repertoire, and then came to Miami and I got into spearfishing and free diving. And then just the past couple of years, added in some wakeboarding, um, and paddleboarding and just like trying everything. I do like I can ride the flight board, and the next thing I really want to learn is I want to learn how to kite surf. That's my next
Whoa.
endeavor.
That's it just seems like kite surfing because you have to hold on to the thing, right? The
Yeah,
kite.
like you're in a harness, but yeah, you have to like your ability to like pull, you're catching the wind, you're pulling the wind in
Yeah.
and
I don't know. I find that, I mean, I commend the people that do it and I see it all over, even in my hometown, Vero Beach. Like, it's a really good workout too. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking people for it. And yeah, it's an art, but it
out.
just seems like you're just getting whipped around. You're
Yeah.
getting, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, why do you want to just get whipped around? And at the same time, you're just holding on for dear life, but then you're
Yeah.
strapped in at the bottom. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess once you get a hold of it, it's fun, right?
Yeah. Definitely the learning curve. I'm definitely gonna face plant a bunch, but I want to learn. I think that's like my next adult hobby.
Oof, no, I'm here for that. I can't wait to see the content for that one. All right. So, second to last question. So, being deep in the fitness space, what is one completely toxic trait or fitness myth on social media right now? It doesn't even have to be on social media, honestly, that you wish you could permanently erase.
Fasted cardio.
Yeah. I'm bad at that
Please
sometimes,
stop
not going to lie.
please stop doing fasted cardio, especially like girls were like, I'm gonna go to the gym in the morning and I'm not gonna eat anything. Well, babe, your body has already been fasted for 8 hours or however long you slept. Okay. You like, then you're gonna go work out, which is great, and put stress on your body, but it's just gonna like increase your cortisol levels. And then you're gonna go into like more of starvation and more stress and probably more bloating if you're already bloated. All you
Mhm.
have to do is eat like a little banana or have a piece of toast or have a little bit of fruit. You just need a little bit of glucose, break the fast, give your body a little bit of energy, and then go to the gym. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Like, I'm in a cut right now. Like, sometimes we need to be in a deficit. It's fine. Just small meals, lower calories, eat them more frequently. It's not that
Yeah.
difficult.
Well, not even that, like you said, it doesn't have to be a full meal. And I think that's what people, the misconception is they feel like they have to have like eggs and bacon and in a sit down meal. And that takes too much time because they're on a time crunch. And it's like, no, like you said, just throwing in like like fitness bread. I love fitness bread, throwing that in the toaster, throwing some peanut butter and honey on it. I
Mm-hmm.
actually was just telling
You do.
myself this morning because I was working out, I was doing strength training. I was like, I didn't get to have my banana this morning because I forgot to buy bananas. And I love having my banana in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and
Mm-hmm.
I get it, but like, and I will say, I will admit that I have and do fasted cardio. And sometimes it's for training purposes, and sometimes it's just because, I'm getting out the door or whatever it may be. But you're
Yeah.
right. And not even that, you're staying so much more hungry throughout the day. Or then by that like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock time, especially if you've not, really given your body the fuel that it needs post workout or whatever you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
you just are staying consistently so hungry that you're never going to be satiated and then you end up eating shit.
Yeah, and like if you want, like if it's a time to eat, it's the morning and midday. Don't save it up until the night or you break. Like, and you only have to eat a little bit before your workout. And also, like, your workout is gonna be so much better if you give your body some food. Like, if you're gonna be watching your carbs and everything, eat your carbs around your workout, and then the rest of the day go back to just protein and veggies if you want. But give your body the nutrients it needs when you're gonna be using it.
Praise the Lord. Yes. It's so true and it's so simple. And like also too, I think it's funny though, because I talk about like inflammation a lot, but I also talk about how, especially with like clients and stuff with endurance training, when you see girls, and I'm not trying to, body shame anybody by all means, but when girls talk about running and racing or are training for races and they mention that they've
Mhm.
gained weight, not muscle, but they've gained weight when training and going and doing a race. And 9 times out of 10, it's most likely because they're not fueling their body properly and they're doing some sort of fasted cardio and they're not actually giving themselves the appropriate carbs that they need. So their body is just holding on to everything that it can. And that is why they become more, I don't want to
Yes.
say pudgy, but they do gain weight because it's your
Yeah.
body's trying to hold on to anything that can. And so that's one thing I try to tell people is eat your carbs. Trust me. You're
Mhm.
burning it. You're burning it. Eat your
Yeah,
carbs.
totally. I would agree.
We're getting close to the end. We've actually really crushed this episode. But for the next 5 years, if you're thinking about the next 5 years, where do you see yourself as far as not only just being, a hybrid athlete, endurance athlete, coach, and et cetera? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years of what you envision?
In 5 years, I would love to have like a thriving online coaching business.
Love that.
Um, I would love to be a like fully sponsored athlete, and I do have sponsorships for races, but more of like big sponsorships from like Adidas or Puma or LSKD, and like sending me and paying me to go race like on a bigger scale. And I would love to own a home at that point.
Oh, I love that. Those are all no, those are really, really good goals to have that are not
Mhm.
impractical and that are very, very, very much feasible to get to for
Mhm.
sure. It just takes you believing in yourself. And like I say, when those types of things like work in silence, work in silence, there's things you want to share, but a lot of the time with things like that and those goals, work in silence, always be a good person and humble and network and never be afraid to ask ever. Never be afraid to ask and put yourself out there because that's the best advice for anyone that's wanting to really kind of soar and succeed,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to these types of things, because though everyone is unique and individual, yes, it's an oversaturated market and there are a lot of people throwing their faces in front of brands. So how can you maintain being authentic? That is one thing too. Stay authentic. You are so authentic and unique and you're not trying to be this cookie cutter person online. And that's another thing too, because I am so tired of that. I'm tired of the cookie cutter. I'm tired of the everyone dressing the same and looking the same and trying to be grunge runners and all this stuff. It's like, just be who you are, like when you woke up before you were a grunge runner. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
go for a run.
Yeah, that's so true. It's so easy
Yeah.
to get caught up into it, and it's like, oh, what are the
Yeah.
trends and what's going viral and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Well, like we're all still people. The famous
Exactly.
people are still people. They still have
Exactly.
everything that you do and I do. Like,
Yeah.
just be yourself, because like ultimately you're gonna end up being yourself anyway. Because one day you're gonna get tired of putting up this front or the fake stuff. So
Yep.
just be you, and then it might take a long time, might take quickly, whatever. But like
Yeah.
people will come to you based on your authentic personality.
Yeah. Don't conform to what the masses are doing or what like the trend is, because once that goes away, they're not going to know what's going on. And then they're just going to grab onto whatever else is trending. And it's just going to be, yeah, it's funny to me.
Yeah.
What are you doing right now? What do you want to promote? What do you want to share? Tell people?
Cool. This Sunday, I'm having a sunrise paddle and yoga class in Coconut Grove. That's like super soon. But I'm going to try to do one fitness water sport event a month. A couple weeks ago, I did a paddleboard fitness class. That was like super hot. We're going to do that again in July. I'm going to aim for once a month, and that was super awesome last month. So definitely going to be bringing that back once a month because it's summer year round here. And then I'm also going to be hosting my own High Rocks class each month.
Yeah, that's sick. I need to get to it. I just
Yeah,
want to
would love
try
to have
it,
you. Yeah,
I strength
definitely.
train. I love it. Like it's just so I broke my wrists in sports like playing soccer and stuff. So my biggest fear is not being able to do the burpees because like I don't do push-ups and the farmers carries maybe. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the sled push and pull, you use your body weight, so that's fine.
Yeah, you
And
got
the
it.
wall balls, I'm pretty that doesn't really, bother me too much.
Yeah.
The burpees I get nervous about, so that would be something where I'd probably have to have a team member then, and I'm gonna be like, listen, you're just gonna do the burpees, but I promise I'll do the wall balls.
No, totally. But you learn strategy, you learn technique, and with your partner, you figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are, and then just
Yeah.
work together.
Are High Rocks? So that would be my question. Are they hosting one every month or is it seasonal? Because it's inside, so they're not having to really, conform or whatnot to the seasons.
Yeah, they're all over the globe. The summertime season is like the off season. So last weekend was just the World Championships in Stockholm, and
Okay.
now there'll be a big break until about September.
Okay.
And it's not like say once a month. It's just there's probably like four high rockses every month or three high rockses every month from September to April or something like that. But they're just like, oh, one's in Hong Kong, one's in Boston, one's in Brazil. Like they're all over the place. So it really just comes down to what country do you live in and how far do you want to travel. So for Florida, we have Miami and Tampa. We have Miami in April. We have Tampa in October. Otherwise, you have to fly somewhere to go race.
Cool. Yeah. So it is like, like races, like marathon or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then if you want to get to be where you're on a level of, championships or on a level of being more of a competitor, just like if you were for an elite for runner, are you having to attend more of them or are you having to get a better score?
Yeah, you get podium and top three of each category. So
Okay.
what I understand that if you get on the podium, they're changing the rules that most of the time you do get a spot to go to world championships. I know like
Mm-hmm.
top two of each category and age group get a spot to go to worlds. So it's just about like that placing in your race.
Got it. Cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, this was so much fun. I mean, I loved having you and talking about all the things that you've just been doing and learning more about you. And thank you for taking the time to, be on the pod. I just think that you're just so amazing and cool. And I'm glad that I get to be in the same, space as you.
I'm so glad that we met at the
Yes.
Stay Fit 305 event. Yeah, I remember you were running and there was a lot of people and you want to do groups. I'm like, I'm gonna go like run with her and like help her. And you were like, who is this girl? And I was like, don't worry, just tell me whatever pace you want me to run. Like, I'll help you. Like,
Yeah, I love
so
it.
I'm like, I that's something sometimes also like in the fitness space, just go to the event. It's not gonna hurt you. You're gonna meet new people, and you might
Yeah.
meet someone that is your friend, or you just build your network. So I'm so glad that we met. Thank you so much for having me on your pod. I can't wait to have everyone see it, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you soon.
Yeah, definitely. I need to get to track one day, but if not, maybe we'll figure something else out. We'll go for one of those runs like you were talking about.
You'll go for like an easy girl run and get our easy miles and just chat the whole time. And that's like an hour later, you're like, oh, my run's done. Cool.
Yes, and then we're like better runners for it.
Exactly. Conversational pace. Zone two, baby.
Well, that is that.
Thanks.